Welcome to Smart English Coach Podcast.
Let's improve your fluency together, one real conversation at a time.
Sarah, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in the middle of something important, a workout, a study session, a big project, and suddenly your brain just quits?
Oh, absolutely. Like 1 second you're focused, and the next second your brain is basically saying, okay, we're done here, goodbye.
Exactly. And most people listen to that voice. They stop, they put everything down. They tell themselves, I'll finish this tomorrow. But tomorrow, it never really comes, does it?
No, it really doesn't. Tomorrow has a funny way of turning into next week.
Right, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. One of the most powerful ideas in motivation, in discipline, in self-improvement. The idea that you should not stop when you're tired. You should stop when you're done.
Ooh, I love that. That hits differently.
Doesn't it? So if you're learning English, if you're building a new habit, if you're chasing a goal that feels too big, this conversation is for you. Stick with us. This one might actually change how you think.
And hey, while we're at it, if you're new here, welcome. You're in the right place. This is where real English meets real motivation. And if you've been here before, you already know. We don't do boring.
We definitely don't. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so Michael, where does this idea even come from? Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Is that a quote? Who said it first?
You know, the exact origin is a little unclear. It's been attributed to different people. Some say it's a Navy SEAL mindset, others connect it to athletes and coaches. But honestly, the specific origin doesn't matter as much as the truth behind it.
Right, because it just rings true, doesn't it?
It really does. Think about it. Every single person who has ever accomplished something difficult, and I mean really difficult, has hit that wall. That moment where your body or your mind says, I can't do this anymore.
The wall. Yes, I know that wall personally. We've met many times.
And what do most people do when they hit the wall?
They stop.
They stop. And here's the thing. Stopping when you're tired is completely human. It's natural. There's nothing wrong with feeling tired. But there is a big difference between feeling tired and actually being done.
Oh, that's such a good distinction. Can you break that down a little more?
Sure. So, feeling tired is a sensation. It's your body sending signals. It's your brain conserving energy. It's completely normal and biological. But being done, being truly done, means you've reached your goal. You've finished the task. You've crossed the finish line.
So tiredness is just a feeling, but done is a fact.
Exactly. Tiredness is a feeling. Done is a fact. And the problem is that most people treat the feeling like it's the fact.
Wow, that's actually kind of deep.
Right? And here's something interesting. Scientists talk about something called the perceived effort phenomenon. Basically, our brains overestimate how hard something is. We feel like we're at 100% capacity, but physically, we might only be at 60 or 70%.
Wait, really? So our brains lie to us?
Oh, constantly. Our brains are actually very, very good at protecting us from discomfort. The moment things get uncomfortable, the brain starts sending the stop, stop, stop message.
That's honestly a little annoying when you think about it.
It is. But once you know that, once you understand that tiredness is often just a signal, not a stop sign, you can start making different choices.
I like that. Tiredness is a signal, not a stop sign.
Write that one down.
Okay, so let's get real for a second. Can you give me an example from your own life, a time when you wanted to stop but pushed through?
Oh, easily. So a few years ago, I was training for a half marathon, and I remember I was about 9 miles in, which is roughly 14 kilometers, and my legs felt like they were made of concrete. Every step was painful. My lungs were burning. My brain was screaming at me to stop.
And what did you do?
I wanted to stop. I really, genuinely wanted to stop. But I remembered something a coach told me once. He said, the moment you want to quit is usually the moment right before a breakthrough.
Ooh, that's good.
So I kept going, and something interesting happened around mile 10. The pain didn't disappear, but it kind of softened. like my body finally accepted that we weren't stopping, so it adjusted.
Wait, that's actually a real thing, right? Like the second wind?
Yes, the second wind, exactly. It's when your body shifts and finds a new gear, and you can only experience it if you don't stop when you're tired.
That's incredible. And I think this applies to so many things beyond running, like studying English, right?
Absolutely. Tell me about it from your perspective.
Okay, so I remember when I first started really committing to improving my English, not just casually watching videos, but actually studying, like taking notes, practicing speaking, learning new vocabulary every day.
Yeah?
And there would be these sessions where after maybe 30 or 40 minutes, my brain would just fog up, like nothing was sticking anymore. And I would think, okay, I'm done for the day.
And were you actually done?
That's the thing. No, because I had set a goal of 1 hour. I hadn't reached the goal. I was just tired. And most of the time, I would stop anyway.
And what happened when you pushed through?
Honestly, the next 20 minutes were usually the most productive. It was like my brain got used to the discomfort and started performing better.
That happens so often. There's a concept in learning called desirable difficulty. The idea is that learning is actually more effective when it's slightly uncomfortable. When it's easy, your brain is on cruise control. When it's hard, your brain is actually building stronger connections.
So the struggle is part of the process.
The struggle is the process.
Right, the struggle is the process. Okay, that's going in my vocabulary book.
And speaking of vocabulary, let's slow down for a second and look at some of the expressions we've been using naturally in this conversation, because this is an English learning channel, after all.
Yes, I love this part. Okay, so one I noticed, you said hits differently. What does that mean exactly?
Great one. So, hits differently. This is a very modern, very natural English expression. It means something has a special or stronger impact than expected. Like you hear a song you've heard 100 times, but on a sad day, it just hits differently.
It lands in a new way.
Exactly. It resonates more deeply. It affects you more than usual.
Okay, and what about ring true? You said that earlier. It rings true.
Yes, to ring true means something sounds correct, honest, or believable. It feels real and authentic. Like when someone says something and you think, yes, that's exactly right. That rings true.
Got it. And you said crossing the finish line. That's a metaphor, right?
It is. Crossing the finish line literally comes from racing. It's when you complete the race. But we use it metaphorically to mean completing any goal or task. Like, after 3 years of hard work, she finally crossed the finish line and got her degree.
Beautiful. And at full capacity, what does that mean?
At full capacity means operating at your maximum ability or limit. Like, the stadium was at full capacity, completely full, no more space. But we can use it for people too. I'm working at full capacity right now. I'm giving everything I have.
These are so useful and so natural in the conversation.
That's the goal. Learning expressions in context, not from a list, but from real conversations. That's how native speakers acquire language.
Okay, so let's talk about the mindset side of this. Because knowing don't stop when you're tired is one thing, but actually doing it, that's a completely different challenge.
And that's so true. And I think the first step is changing how you see tiredness. Most people see it as an enemy, something to avoid, something that means you should rest.
Right. And rest is important, don't get me wrong.
Of course, rest is essential. Recovery is part of growth. But there's a difference between strategic rest and quitting.
Oh, that's a great distinction. Strategic rest versus quitting.
Exactly. Strategic rest means I've completed my task or I've reached a natural stopping point, and now I'm intentionally recharging so I can perform better next time. Quitting means I'm uncomfortable, so I'm stopping before I reach my goal.
And I think a lot of people confuse the two, right? They quit, but they call it rest.
Ah, yes, they rationalize it. I'm not quitting, I'm just resting. But deep down, they know the difference.
Ouch, that one stings a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But it's important to be honest with yourself. And by the way, to rationalize, great English word. It means to make up logical sounding reasons for something you did for emotional reasons. Like you ate a whole bag of chips and then said, well, I needed the carbs for energy. That's rationalizing.
Huh, I have never done that.
Sure you haven't.
Okay, maybe once.
We all have. But self-awareness is the first step. When you catch yourself rationalizing, you can make a better choice.
Right. So the mindset shift is instead of asking, am I tired, ask, am I done?
Yes, change the question. Because am I tired? The answer will almost always be yes. But am I done? That requires you to look at your actual goal. Have I finished what I set out to do?
That's such a simple shift, but it's so powerful.
Simple ideas are often the most powerful ones.
Let's bring this back to English learning specifically, because I think our viewers will really connect with this. Perfect. So, how many of you have been learning English and felt like quitting? Be honest with yourselves.
I think everyone who's learning a language knows that feeling. There are days when nothing seems to click. When you study and you still can't understand a native speaker. When you try to speak and the words just don't come out right.
And those are exactly the moments when most learners stop. They tell themselves, maybe I'm not good at languages. Maybe English just isn't for me.
But that's the tiredness talking, right? Not the truth.
Exactly. That's the tiredness talking. And here's the truth about language learning. Progress is rarely linear. It doesn't go up in a straight line. It goes up a little, then plateaus, then goes up again, then sometimes it feels like it even goes backwards.
A plateau, for our listeners, that's when you stop making progress for a while, like you're stuck on a flat surface.
Perfect explanation. And plateaus are actually extremely normal in language learning. They feel discouraging, but they're often signs that your brain is consolidating, organizing and storing everything it's learned before the next jump forward.
So the plateau isn't the end, it's actually preparation for the next level.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And the people who push through the plateau, who don't stop when they're tired of not progressing, those are the people who eventually reach fluency.
I think about this with listening comprehension. There's a phase in every English learner's journey where you feel like you understand almost everything. But then a native speaker talks fast, uses slang, swallows some sounds, and suddenly you feel like a beginner again.
The I almost got it phase. It's so frustrating.
So frustrating, and so many learners give up right there.
But if they just keep going, if they keep exposing themselves to natural English, keep practicing, keep pushing through that discomfort, their ears will adjust. Their brain will start processing faster. And one day, they'll have a conversation with a native speaker and think, wait, I understood everything.
And that moment is worth every difficult session.
Every single one.
You know, Michael, this is exactly why I love this channel. We're not just learning English, we're learning how to think, how to grow, how to push ourselves.
That's the whole idea. Language is a window into a mindset. And real English isn't just grammar and vocabulary. It's the way people think, the way they motivate each other, the way they communicate ideas that matter.
And if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Seriously.
It's free. It takes 2 seconds, and it means you won't miss a single conversation. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and if this video is helping you, give it a like. It genuinely helps us reach more English learners around the world.
We really appreciate every single one of you. Okay, back to the conversation.
So let's get practical. Because motivation and mindset are great, but you also need tools, strategies that actually help you push through when you want to quit.
Yes, give me the toolkit.
Okay, tool number 1, and this is huge. Set a concrete finish line before you start.
What do you mean by that?
So instead of sitting down and saying, I'm going to study English today, say, I'm going to study English for 45 minutes, learn 10 new expressions, and practice shadowing 1 dialogue. Now you have a finish line. You know when you're done.
Because without a finish line, any moment can feel like a good time to stop.
Exactly. Vague goals produce vague effort. Specific goals produce specific results.
I love that. Vague goals, vague effort. Specific goals, specific results.
Tool number 2. Use the just 5 more minutes technique.
Oh, I've heard of this.
When you want to quit, you don't say, I'm going to push for another hour. You say, just 5 more minutes. That's it. Just 5. Because your brain can handle 5 minutes. It doesn't feel overwhelming.
And then what happens?
Usually one of 2 things. Either you hit the 5 minutes and genuinely decide to stop, and that's okay because you pushed a little further.
Or, more often, you hit 5 minutes and you've gotten back into the flow and you keep going naturally.
The flow state, that's when you're so absorbed in something that time just disappears.
Yes, and the flow state almost never starts immediately. You have to push through the uncomfortable beginning to get there.
So the beginning is always the hardest.
Almost always. There's a concept called activation energy, borrowed from chemistry. In chemistry, you need a certain amount of energy to start a reaction. In human behavior, starting a task requires the most energy. Once you're going, it's much easier to keep going.
That's why just start is such powerful advice.
Just start. Even badly. Even slowly. Just start.
What's tool number 3?
Tool number 3. Track your done, not just your to-do.
Oh, interesting. Explain that.
Most people have a to-do list, things they want to accomplish, but very few people keep a done list, a record of what they've already completed. And the done list is incredibly powerful for motivation.
Because it shows you your progress.
Exactly. When you feel tired and want to quit, you look at your done list and you think, wait, I've already done so much. I've come so far. I'm not stopping now.
It creates momentum.
It creates momentum, and momentum is one of the most underrated forces in personal development.
I'm going to start a done list today. I'm serious.
Do it. It will change how you see your own progress.
Okay, I want to stop here and ask our viewers some questions, because learning English isn't passive, it's active. So I want you to actually think about these.
Great idea. Go for it.
Question 1. Think about a time in your life when you wanted to quit something. Maybe learning English, maybe a job, maybe a relationship, maybe a habit. What made you want to stop? Was it real tiredness, or was it discomfort?
That's a great self-reflection question. And there's no wrong answer, but being honest with yourself is the whole point.
Question 2. What is one goal in your life right now that you've been putting off because it feels too hard or too tiring? Just one. Say it out loud or write it down right now.
Actually saying it or writing it makes it real. It takes it out of your head and puts it into the world.
And question 3. This is for your English practice specifically. What part of your English journey has felt the most tiring? Speaking, listening, grammar, vocabulary? And have you been stopping there or pushing through?
These are really important questions, and I'd love to hear your answers in the comments. Seriously, write them down below. Tell us where you are in your journey.
We actually read the comments. We really do.
We do, and we love seeing your answers. Let's do a quick expressions recap, because we've covered a lot of really useful natural English today.
Yes, I've been keeping a mental list. Let's go through them.
First, hits differently. We talked about this one. Means something has a stronger or different emotional impact than expected.
Like, that speech about never giving up really hit differently after everything I've been through.
Perfect usage. Second, ring true. Means something sounds honest, believable, or correct.
What he said about tiredness versus being done really rings true for me.
Excellent. Third, on cruise control. This means doing something automatically, without much effort or thought.
Like, I was answering emails on cruise control, not really thinking, just clicking through.
Yes, and we used it in the context of learning. When things are too easy, your brain is on cruise control and not really absorbing information.
Fourth, to rationalize, making up logical-sounding reasons for something done for emotional reasons.
She told herself she was resting, but deep down, she knew she was rationalizing quitting.
Fifth, a plateau, a period where progress stops or stalls.
After a few months of rapid improvement, my English hit a plateau and I felt stuck.
And sixth, activation energy, the initial effort needed to start something.
The hardest part is always the beginning, overcoming that activation energy and just getting started.
These are all incredibly natural expressions that will make your English sound more fluent and confident. Practice them. Use them in your own sentences.
You know, Sarah, I want to share a couple of real-world examples, because it's one thing to talk about this concept, it's another to see it in action through real people's lives.
Yes, real examples are so much more powerful.
Think about Michael Jordan.
one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But did you know he was cut from his high school basketball team?
Wait, really? Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan, got cut from his team?
He did, and a lot of people don't know that. He was told he wasn't good enough, and he could have stopped there. He was tired, probably humiliated, definitely discouraged.
But he didn't stop.
He did not stop. He went home. He trained harder than ever, and he came back the next year and made the team, and then went on to become arguably the best player who ever lived.
Arguably, there are some Kobe fans who might have something to say about that.
Fair enough, but the point is, the moment he got cut was exactly the kind of moment where most people stop, where they say, I guess I'm not meant for this. But he reframed it. He used it as fuel.
Used it as fuel, another great expression, using a negative experience as motivation to push forward.
Exactly. And another example, J.K. Rowling. She wrote Harry Potter while she was a single mother, living on welfare, deeply depressed. She submitted the manuscript to 12 publishers and got rejected by every single one.
12 rejections. Imagine that.
12. And she kept going. She didn't stop when she was tired, when she was broke, when the world was telling her no. She stopped when she was done.
And now Harry Potter is one of the best-selling book series in human history.
One of the best-selling of all time. And none of that happens if she stops at rejection number 3 or 5 or even 11.
It's such a powerful reminder that your current situation is not your final destination.
Oh, that's a great line. Say that again.
Your current situation is not your final destination.
Write that down, everyone.
Michael, I want to finish this section with a message directly to the English learners watching this, because I think sometimes people feel alone in their struggle.
That's so important. Go ahead.
If you're watching this and you've been learning English for months or years, and some days feel like you're going backwards, you are not alone. Every single person who speaks a second language has been exactly where you are.
Exactly. The people who are fluent now, they had days when they thought, I'll never get this. They had moments of total frustration. They mispronounced words, they got embarrassed, they couldn't understand a movie without subtitles.
But they didn't stop when they were tired. They stopped when they were done, and they kept coming back.
And here's what I want you to hold on to. Fluency is not a destination you arrive at one day. It's something you build, conversation by conversation, word by word, lesson by lesson. Every time you push through the discomfort, you're adding a brick to that building.
And the building goes up slowly, sometimes so slowly you can't even see it happening. But it's happening.
It's always happening. Trust the process.
Trust the process, even when you can't see the results yet.
You know, I want to zoom out for a second and talk about what this principle really means at a deeper level.
Oh, I like when we go deep.
So, on the surface, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Sounds like advice about productivity or discipline, and it is. But at a deeper level, it's really about identity.
Identity? Say more.
So, who you become is determined by the choices you make when things are hard, not when things are easy. Anyone can keep going when everything is going well. The character is revealed when things get difficult.
Right. The true self shows up under pressure.
Exactly. And every time you push through tiredness, every time you choose to keep going when you want to quit, you're sending a message to yourself. You're telling yourself, I am someone who finishes things. I am someone who doesn't give up. I am someone who can handle difficulty.
And that identity, that self-image, starts to compound over time.
It compounds. That's the perfect word. Each small act of persistence makes the next one easier because you start to believe in yourself at a deeper level.
And the opposite is also true, isn't it? Every time you quit, every time you stop when you're tired and not when you're done, you're also sending a message to yourself.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm someone who gives up when it gets hard. And that identity can also compound over time.
So it's not just about finishing the task. It's about who you're becoming in the process.
It's always about who you're becoming. The task is just the vehicle.
Wow. Okay, I need a moment.
Take your time.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's highlight a few more beautiful English expressions from today.
Perfect.
To compound over time
Can you explain this one?
Yes. To compound means to grow by adding to itself repeatedly. Like compound interest in a bank. Your money earns interest, and then the interest earns interest, and it keeps building on itself. When we say something compounds, we mean the effects grow stronger and stronger over time.
Your good habits compound over time. I love that.
Perfect sentence.
What about to zoom out? You used that earlier.
To zoom out is a metaphor from cameras and maps. When you zoom out, you see the bigger picture. You step back from the details and look at the overall situation. Let's zoom out and look at where we are after 6 months of studying.
And to use it as fuel.
To use something as fuel means to take a negative experience, a failure, a rejection, a disappointment, and let it motivate you instead of discourage you. Turn the pain into power.
Turn the pain into power. I love that.
And last one, trust the process.
Oh, everyone needs to know this one.
Trust the process means to believe in the method or the journey, even when you can't see the results yet. It means having faith that if you keep doing the right things consistently, the outcome will come.
It's about patience and consistency.
Exactly. 2 of the most underrated qualities in any kind of growth.
Okay, Michael, I want to end with something that I think is really important. A challenge for everyone watching.
Let's hear it.
Tonight or tomorrow morning, I want you to pick one thing. Just one thing you've been putting off because it feels too hard or too tiring. One goal, one task, one area of your English practice. And I want you to commit to finishing it. Not stopping when you're tired, stopping when you're done.
That's a beautiful challenge. And I want to add to that. Write it in the comments below. Tell us, what is the one thing you're going to commit to finishing? Because when you say it publicly, you're more likely to follow through.
There's actually research on this. Public commitment increases accountability significantly.
It really does. So tell us in the comments, what are you going to push through? What is your stop when you're done goal?
And while you're down there in the comments, answer this question too. What is the most tiring part of learning English for you right now? Is it speaking, listening, vocabulary, pronunciation? Tell us, and we might make a whole video dedicated to exactly that challenge.
We love taking inspiration from your comments. This channel exists because of you, so your voice matters here.
And if this video helped you, if something we said today rang true, if something hit differently for you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend who's learning English, a family member who's been thinking about giving up on a goal.
Because sometimes all someone needs is the right words at the right moment to keep going.
And that's what we're here for.
Always.
Don't stop when you're tired, everyone. Stop when you're done.
See you in the next one.
See you there. Bye.
Take care. If you enjoyed this episode, check out our last video. The link is right there on screen. And don't forget, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you very soon. Keep pushing, keep learning, keep going.